Senator Tester from Montana is recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the courtesy. Chairman Powell, good to see you here today. Appreciate your work. Look, regardless of where I go in the state of Montana, housing is a big issue, whether it's Billings or Butte or Bozeman or Busby or Big Sandy, it doesn't matter. Larger towns to medium-sized towns to small towns, housing is a huge issue. And I think it's a huge issue all over the country, and correct me if I'm not correct in that. And I was wondering how the housing challenges fit into the overall economic picture that you're seeing.
So we do pay a lot of attention, and I would agree with you. We have significant housing issues in the country, and we had them before the pandemic. Certainly, the pandemic has created new distortions, and you know, monetary policy works through interest-sensitive spending. There is no more interest-sensitive spending than, you know, buying a house and having a mortgage. So, for sure, our tighter policy is having an effect on economic activity in the housing sector. But I would also say the best thing we can do for housing is to succeed in getting inflation down to 2% on a sustainable basis so that rates can come down, so that the housing market can get back to what was the pre-pandemic normal, which is to say still a housing shortage, but not dealing with the kinds of specific things we're dealing with now.
So let me drill down a little bit. I'm speaking not necessarily from a housing cost interest, and you're correct on the things you just brought up. I'm speaking more from a standpoint of economic growth, in that there are plenty of small businesses, schools, hospitals, Main Street businesses that can't hire people, they can't expand because there simply is no place for them to live. How does that fit into your economic outlook metrics? Because I think it's, from my perspective at least, I think it's limiting the opportunity for expansion. It's limiting the opportunity for entrepreneurs, business startups. And does that fit into the economic picture that you look at?
So our mandate is for stable prices and maximum employment. And again, I think for housing supply, the best thing we can do is get inflation under control so that rates can come back down, so that we can have a more normalized set of rates and a more normalized housing system. But I think policies to increase housing supply are really not so much in the hands of the Fed; they're in the hands of legislatures, you know, state and federal.
Do you believe that if we were to put forth some housing incentives, whatever they may be, that could have if those incentives resulted in more affordable workforce housing on the market, that would have positive impacts on the economy?
You know, these are questions for you, but I would say this, that I'm aware that housing is in short supply, and that for many it's a critical need for the workforce. Okay. And so more of it is better. But as to where the fiscal policy how you should prioritize that, that's not up to us.
Look, I want to talk about the independence of the Fed for a second, because I know that you are a strong supporter of independence, as am I, and political influence, I don't think, helps with monetary policy in the country. And so give me your perspective, at least, on why the central bank independence is so critically important.
Thank you. I'd be glad to. So essentially all advanced economies have adopted a policy of central bank and operational independence, and that just means that we make our decisions, we're instructed to make them without taking in extraneous factors, one of which would be politics. And the record is pretty clear that that's a good it's a good institutional arrangement that serves the public well. And you know, we just want to stress, as we do periodically, that this is an institutional choice that we make as a country, and that as long as it's seen to serve the public well, it's a good choice. We think so.
Okay, on advanced economies, there's some that talk about the economy of this country not being in very good shape. From your perspective, tell me how the economy of this country is doing compared to other advanced economies that have central banks.
You know, so I'm in lots and lots of international discussions as part of my job, and the story for the last 2 years has been just how exceptional the performance of the U.S. economy has been. and that's not a secret. You know, clearly the U.S. economy has performed very well compared to sort of our advanced economy colleagues.
Is there any country in the world with a central bank, any advanced economy that's performing better?
Better as a central bank?
No, any economy that's an advanced economy that has a central bank that performs better than us?
None comes to mind. As I think of the majors, the answer would be no.
Okay, thank you.